Man, thanks, man, for having me.
Right on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
And I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Hey! Oh, man, so awesome.
To show you.
I look good.
Hey, I'm just loving that you have the shirt today. Like, this is just amazing. Like, you just got me at the door.
We all need money.
How we doing today, gentlemen?
Good.
Doing
Good?
great. Doing
All
great.
right. Welcome to the Block Podcast.
Thank you. Glad
You
to
are
be here.
more than welcome. Man, good to have you guys here. We've been trying to do this for a while, but we finally got it to work out and got you guys here. And I really want to get this out here because, like I said, you know the reason why I saw, I saw the picture of you guys in your uniforms. I believe you were in the room back there and all lined up. And I saw that, and I never seen anything like that. I never seen people of color like that.
Absolutely.
And it just kind of, you know what I mean? It kind of threw me off. And I was just like, wow, that is a beautiful picture. And that's what made me want to know more. I said, well, what, you know what I mean? I understood it's go-karts, but I didn't know the whole process.
Right.
And so I wanted to know the whole process. And also I wanted other people to know because I'm pretty sure this is something that somebody else would want to know about. And you guys are doing really good things for the urban community through racing.
Absolutely.
And I don't know a lot about racing just because of the history of being here in Indiana. It wasn't something I was really ever into or really introduced to, actually. And now it's becoming more open. Like in the last, I believe, 6 years, I think I've attended Carb Day every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And before that, like the only time I ever came to the track was, I think I was 18 years old. I never came back. It was an experience. I never came back. Just to say that, you know what I mean? But you guys are doing wonderful things, and I just want to get this out here, man. So, all righty, let's get it in. Brian Shaw,
Yes.
you are a driver for NXG Motorsports, correct?
Yes.
All righty. Well, man, you do me a favor. Go ahead and let everybody know who you are and what you do, man. Yeah, what school you go to, what you doing, what you up to?
All right. So, I guess, hello, my name is Brian Shaw. I'm in the 9th grade at the International School of Indiana. And I love racing. Racing's probably my number one thing I like to do outside of school, at home. I like watching races, watching TV.
Now, is this something that you're planning on moving forward with in the industry of racing?
That's what I would hope to do,
Okay.
but I do have alternatives.
Oh, well, that's good. You're supposed to. You're young, man. You're supposed to have a way out. All righty. And to my right, who are you, sir?
I'm Rod Reid. I'm the one of the founders and the current director of NXG Youth Motorsports, also known as Next Gen Racers, which was our name when we first started back in 2000. We actually started a program and the corporation, if you will, for the idea of inclusion, and that's the hot word right now. But in reality, we started because we knew there weren't very many blacks in motorsports.
And how long has NXG been going?
So we started in actually incorporated in 2000.
Okay.
It took us about 6 years to raise the money to do the program that you heard of and that you see today. And we had our first class in September of 2006.
Okay.
With 13, 14 kids that were just unbelievable for us. With the whole idea of introducing young black men and women, or girls and boys, into motorsports by using go-kart and go-kart racing as the lure, as the tool to say, hey, we can teach you not only about racing, but we can also impart a little bit of life skill.
See, I because I've been reading up, you know, I mean, everything now, but and I find the whole process, the idea, because I never knew how you became a race car driver. You know what I mean? I didn't know. So I'm thinking, well, okay, well if you become a professional soccer player, we know where you started. You was 5'6"
Grade
at the
school
league.
or
You know what I mean?
something like
Whatever.
that.
Yeah. But I don't know how a race car driver gets to where I see him on the thing. So
Sure.
to see this, it's like, oh, there is an entryway to. Oh, I didn't know.
Well, really, it is unique because most race car drivers, to your point, they start in karting. But karting tends to be a family affair, whether they go to a concession stand or a concession course. Like there are a lot of indoor
When you say
karting centers.
karting, what are those little bitty cars with the big wing on the top?
No.
Is that what it is?
The karting is, think of a go-kart, something you would find going down the street in your neighborhood. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the very first go-kart, a little quick history, in 1956, a guy named Art Ingalls basically created a chassis with 4 wheels and put a lawnmower engine on it. And that was our first go-kart.
Wow.
Yeah, 1956. They don't look much different today than
Right.
what you've seen.
Yeah.
So that cart can have a small motor like a lawnmower engine all the way up to what they do now is they'll have a Yamaha, something like you see on a motorbike.
Okay.
And they'll run 100 miles an hour. So our go-karts will
On a
run
go-kart?
somewhere. Oh, absolutely. Our go-karts will run somewhere around 35 to 40 miles an hour. But there are karts that will run over 100 miles an hour. Yes, sir.
Wow.
It's
I
amazing.
did not. Whoa. I did not know that.
So
Man.
a lot of the young people will have their mom, dad, uncle, someone will be into buying these little go-karts or building little go-karts.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but when we were young, we would build these little crate derby cars.
I was BMX.
Yeah,
I
or
was all
BMX.
about BMX.
Yeah, get your bike, or we would take and put little skateboard type wheels on it because there wasn't really skateboarding when I was young. It was a lot of, we would take roller skate wheels
Yeah.
and put them on a little bit of box car, something like a crate,
Yeah.
and push you down the street. So that was our karting. But there are a lot of families that go around the country right now today doing karting, and they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to run in these go-kart series. Wow. The saying is that there's someone racing in a go-kart every weekend in America.
Really?
Yes, sir. It doesn't matter if it's here in Indianapolis or down in Florida. I attended
It's amazing
earlier
how you
this
don't
year.
know stuff. If you're not like connected to it,
That's right.
you just you don't know. You know what I mean?
There
I
are
wouldn't have
people
thought it was that many.
People in the go-karts like you and I and others might be into basketball.
Exactly.
Take a basketball,
Yeah.
go down to the corner or your buddy's yard and shoot off the backboard on the garage.
Right.
Man, these guys are
Same
picking
thing.
up, taking go-karts and going to little tracks in small towns around the country.
That's cool, man. That is awesome. All right. Now, Brian, okay, besides like your relationship with NXG, and what are some of the other efforts that, you know what? Wait a minute. I'm my bad. I got lost there, buddy. I got lost. Besides racing, that's what I wanted to say. Besides racing, what is your favorite part of NXG?
I think the kids, meeting new people. I think that's probably one of the other things that I like about it. But not only that, also learning the technical side of go-karts, speed, and it also gives you a chance to do and learn math, and almost like stay up to speed, even while we're not in school, because you can always keep learning, learn something new every day, and you hear about a lot of people just in this program, not learning new things that they didn't know previously. So yeah.
Cool. All right. And I wanted to know now, because I know that Coach Reid, he teaches you guys, he teaches you racing, he teaches you about the vehicles, the maintenance, the mechanics, and safety, and of course, life lessons. But what I want to know is what would you say has been probably the most important lesson that you received from Coach Reid?
I think you said it, safety there. Because on the track, you got to be careful. I mean, we're going, 45,
Okay.
40 miles an hour. Someone could easily get hurt. So, I mean, I think that's the number one thing. You just got to focus on safety. And I learned a lot of that here in NXG.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw something on a video. And I wouldn't even thought of this. But once I thought about it and how you related it to real life, I thought, man, I would have never came up with that. I would have never. But you've been around it so long that these things do correlate into real life to you. So it's easy for you to come up with it. But you said you made them walk their track first, so they could see where they're going.
Exactly.
Just as you would in life.
Just like you and in life.
Yeah.
You know, just like your
And
parents
I thought that was
do.
amazing, man, how you did that, how you incorporated that in. That was beautiful, man. I mean, things like that, where do those come from for you?
Well, and I'll be honest with you, the walking the track part, I didn't come up with it. I can't claim that one.
Okay.
But when you start thinking about us, our walk in life, if we're blessed enough to have a parent or two parents that will kind of show us the way, or at least give us an idea of the way. It's so important for us to impart that on our young people.
Wow.
So the walk in the track is something that racers do.
Okay.
And they'll start at the go-kart level. And you'll find that if they do what's called road racing, and that is the difference between road racing and like circle racing is the other word.
Okay.
Where you're on an oval or a circle track.
Right.
On a circle track, you're only turning one direction, and it's typically left.
Right.
So you're constantly, like here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you're making left-hand turns.
Mm-hmm.
In road racing, you're doing right and left-hand turns.
Okay.
So if you think of a course like the ones we have and we create, it's always a left and a right-hand turn, and it has a course that has a lot of different challenges, whether that's a hairpin corner or increasing, decreasing radius corner. Life is like that. And that's the
Yes,
correlationship that, and sometimes you never know when you're going to get thrown a curve in your life, whether you got to go right or you go left or you try to keep straight. And as you know, some of us, and I'll be the first to tell you, when I was a kid, I might have been told to walk a certain direction, but sometimes I strayed away.
Yeah.
And then you find, what are the consequences of not knowing the path and not following the path?
Nice.
So we start off with them walking the path.
Okay.
So let's understand where these curves are.
Yeah.
And then, now what you choose to do with it is your business.
Exactly.
The same way in that go-kart as in life. But I think, kids like Brian and all the kids we have in the program, they make a concerted effort to follow that path. And I get thrilled when they do that. But it's up to them at the end of the day. It's up to them on how they want to traverse that course.
Okay. Man, that's awesome, man. Like I said, because I went through and I read everything, so I just see how that you blended it.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really, really cool, because you just didn't come in. They just don't come here, jump into a car, zip, 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 and then go home.
That's right.
No, they're actually coming in. They're learning. Then they drive, and they learn.
Yeah,
and I think that's amazing.
We talk so much about fundamentals, and you hear that as soccer or basketball. Everybody, fundamentals. Well, what does that really mean? That means we're giving you the basic, I call it the basic play.
Okay.
Because racing, basketball, other stick and ball sports, they all have the play. What is it that it's in basketball? Okay, you got to take that ball and you got to put it through the basket. You got a lot of rules that govern that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
That's what
how
you
many
gotta
times
do.
can you put that ball through the basket?
All right.
And racing is who can be across the finish line first. And as we look at that and say, well, but it's still, how did you cross the finish line? Did you tear up the track? Did you knock everybody out of the way doing it?
Yeah.
Or were you able to meet the challenges and still come out on top?
Okay.
So learning those fundamentals of what we teach, and for us, I give you another little tidbit. This is in a sense, it's a secret, but it's not a secret.
Okay.
Motorsports is simply math. It's nothing but physics.
That's why I ain't never did it. I knew it was something.
Physics.
I knew it was something. That's why I ain't never did it. Boom, there we go.
It's math. It's math. And the difference being is that you're trying to do that with a car or a cart or something that you have to try to control.
Right.
And basketball, and I would argue that probably most sports there's some physics involved.
Yeah.
But it's just you know, and your body. Can
Right.
you move your body in a certain way so that you can go ahead and get the job done?
Right.
In a car, man, it's a little different because you got to deal with whatever that car is feeling today.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that motor doesn't feel like cranking.
Right.
So you got that little extra piece
Okay.
when it comes to the motorized equipment. But at the end of the day, it's still
Yeah.
math.
Okay.
It's still math.
But yeah, boy, no wonder I'm still clear of that damn. I don't mess with that. All right, now, because NXG, and I'm going to try to explain a little bit so that people understand a little bit before I go into these questions, because like I said, how I put them together. But because NXG has been with IMS for a while. This isn't brand new. This relationship isn't brand new. Renewed maybe, but not brand new.
Excellent. Good way to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we founded the program, there was this bridge we wanted to gap. We thought that there was, and perhaps still a little bit, and you and I talked about that before, this divide between the black community and the racing community via Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Okay.
So we got kids that live over here on Livingston, a couple blocks off the track, never been in here.
Yeah.
Because they didn't feel like they were welcome.
That's correct.
So I love motorsports. I love racing. And once I realized that there was no exposure, there were no open arms,
Okay.
I felt like we needed to do something about that. So Next Gen Racers was not only for the next generation of racers who were going to be involved in the sport, it was also this bridge that we would say to the motorsports community, hey, guess what? There's a community, there's a new community of interest that you want to know about and need to know about
Right.
if you want to grow, if you want to sustain yourself.
Yeah.
So that was our first impetus, is that bridge between the black community and the racing community and the racing community and the black community.
Okay.
So we would like to have that interrelationship. And of course, as you can imagine, early on, it was a little more one way.
Right.
We were constantly asking to be here. They were saying, well, you know, we'll let you here. And we did have a relationship. To your point, it was just one of those, yeah, we have this organization that we've agreed to allow to come to the track.
Right.
That was pretty much it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
As we progressed, and we started that in 06.
Okay.
As we progressed through like 2011, 2012, I kept talking to people, and as they changed marketing directors, they would say, well, what's this program you got? Well, we should be more involved in that program.
Okay.
And they would give us a little more interest. I think in 2012 and 13, they actually gave us a scholarship, meaning money, so that we could pay for kids who couldn't afford it. Because our program cost about $600 per kid per weekend.
Okay.
And we don't ask them to pay that.
Right.
So we have sponsorship, and part of that was the Speedway. We said, you know, so they granted us a few bucks to have kids come, but then it died off. And in 2018, 17, 18, there was a whole lot going on in motorsports, a lot of challenges, dwindling spectators. People just weren't coming. It wasn't that exciting. And then they came back and said, and I think it was in 2016, oh, we got the 100th anniversary, so they had a big, big year at the 500.
Okay.
But again, after the next couple of years, it started to dwindle off just because of television and people having a lot more options to watch in sports.
Yeah,
so to make a real change for us, I still have to give a shout out, as you and I talked about, to the murder of George Floyd. You know, he did so much. That act, as unfortunate and sad and tragic, it really woke up a lot of folk.
It moved.
Yeah, it moved.
It moved.
And it moved folks in the
moved.
motorsports industry too, to the point that you and I, as we talked, in 2020, they saw us.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here for 15 years, or 14 years at the time, and they said, "Oh, there's some black folk,
There's
you
some
know,
guys
running
over
go."
there. They doing stuff over there in the corner over there.
And then they kind of, which is fine, stuck their chests out and said, "Oh, we've been doing this for 14 years." Well, yes, you have. Take nothing away from that. You've allowed us to be here for 14 years.
Yeah.
But I think with the fact that Roger Penske and the Penske Entertainment bought the Speedway in the latter part of 19, and of course COVID hit,
Yeah.
and they do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But COVID forced us to have a conversation. So
Yeah, it definitely
George
slowed
Floyd
everything
made them
down.
see us,
Yeah.
but COVID forced them to have a conversation
Yeah.
about, are we actually going to be here? And then when we did, they said, you know what, we think this is worthwhile. We
Yep.
should support it. We should do things that will allow the community. And folks, you and I talked about this. The folks talk about people of color. Now, I'm talking about black folks. Because people of color have always been in motorsports. We've had people from Brazil, from France,
This
from
is
and it's
true.
an international
This is very
sport.
true. Yes.
But when you start looking at black folks, especially black Americans,
Yep.
we're woefully underserved and underrepresented.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And it kind of goes back, you know, to what you said, you know, about the children living around here that never been in here. And I remember, like I said, I never came in here until I was either 17 or 18. I think I was a senior in high school, though. And I came here for Carb Day. And I was here for about an hour, and I was like, yep, time to go. So, headed on out, hit the bus, and cut on out.
It's not for me.
And I didn't come back. I didn't come back until 2016, 15.
Probably
maybe?
doing that 100th running or something
You know,
like that, because they
but-
were
well,
publicized.
but my friends, you know, they come for Carb Day,
Oh.
and so I started coming, and I was like, okay, cool, and I could see the change a little bit. You know what I mean? So I know what direction they're trying to go into. You know, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? And I definitely appreciate what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I wouldn't even know when I was that age to even to try. If that was my dream to race cars, I wouldn't even know where to. I wouldn't even know who to talk to. Like, I wouldn't even know who to turn to say, hey, I really like going fast.
What do I do?
None of that. So to see this program and to see, you know, kids like you, you know, is I love it. I love it, man. I do. I just love it, man. It's crazy because I don't even like speed. I don't. I've never been a fast person. I don't know. I just, you know, I'm laid back.
Well, I used to say that we like to show and not go. You know,
Okay.
because, you know, brothers would always buy the latest hot ride, but they would cruise. You know, we get a little noise.
But that was me.
Yeah,
that was me.
make a little noise.
I bought me a motorcycle, and I think I went 100 one time. I think that was it, and that was it. And I never went over like 70 miles an hour.
You just drive and say, hey.
Yeah. Well, ladies like it.
Ladies like it.
There you go. Yeah. I was young, and that's what the thing would do. So, all right, my man. Back to you, my man. Now I want to know what. So, like, you doing this, and I know because you explained to me how you found out about this. But what about some of your friends now? Since you've been doing it, you know what I mean, that don't race. What do they think about what you do, man?
I think they like it.
Because it's different. You know, you know, it ain't basketball, it ain't
Yeah.
football. You know what I mean? All that's in school.
Yeah.
You know, what you do is you kind of elite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think they like it. Sometimes I post on social media, you know, how it goes. Because you never know who's out there. You never know who wants to
Exactly.
try and do it. But I think people are really intrigued. They're really interested in, you know, what's going on. It's like, that's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
Like, maybe I want to try it sometime, you know? And it's just really cool just seeing all the people, like, you can attract just doing motorsports.
Do you have any other hobbies that you do besides motorsports?
Absolutely.
What do you do? What you got going on?
I love art. I've
What?
loved drawing ever since I was 3 or 4, maybe.
Okay.
let's see. I also play basketball. It's a lot lower on my list of things I like to do, but yeah, it's just good to get exercise.
What kind of drawing you do? You do paint? You do pencil? You do pen? What do you do?
Mostly pencil.
Still frame? Or what?
Most of the time, yeah, probably still frame most of the time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've taken everything in art except for painting. I've never cared for painting.
Yeah, I've never been a good painter.
I'm really OCD, so like I need lines.
Yes.
I need everything to be in the line. So the painting
Absolutely.
doesn't work for me because it's all over. And I get it. I like other people's stuff.
Yeah.
But I could never do it though. But yeah, I love art though. I love art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. So how long do you think you want to do this?
I guess as long as it takes me.
Now, do you want to be like when you said, because you said the mechanics part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to? Have you thought about like what the crew pit, anything like that, or
I've never thought about that.
No?
Personally.
okay? You just want to work on cars. You just like working on cars.
I love driving.
Okay.
Yeah. But I know the likelihood is so low, then that the percent is so low, but that you got to be open to other things, and that there's other parts of motorsports that you have to be into.
Okay.
That it's not all driving. There's timing and scoring, as was mentioned out there earlier. But yeah, I hope that the driving takes me as far as it can.
That's cool.
And if it stops, it stops.
That's cool. That's what's up. So are you good at math?
Oh yeah, really good, man.
Man, I don't know how y'all do it, boy. Woo! I looked at my transcripts from high school and I was embarrassed. I was sitting by myself. Just sad.
Yeah. I love math. Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good, man. I'm glad that you enjoy it, man. Now, what's have you won yet? First place?
I've won one race.
Okay.
Well, actually, I take that back. So, when it comes to like trophies, I have one race win. But when it comes to like on the track, because we do 2 races,
Okay.
And combine the points. When it comes to wins, I've won I think 3 races this year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good deal. Good deal. Okay. Now, and speaking of the extra things that they learn besides racing, the STEM. If you could explain STEM and also a little bit of CART.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
And these are acronyms. STEM is an acronym. It's STEM, and it stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. And CART stands for Knowledge, Ability, Respect, and Thinking.
yeah.
All
So,
you, sir.
Well, you must have been in one of our classes.
Oh, man, I do my research.
Well, obviously the STEM is nationally, internationally has been an acronym used for this need for young people and our society to have more young folks go into what they call STEM-based careers.
Okay.
So whether that's the medical field or something that has to do with technology, higher technology, computer science,
Okay.
As well as sports or motorsports. Motorsports in particular is tied to STEM because of what I mentioned earlier about this math and physics.
Okay.
And there's certainly science and technology that's involved. The higher level of racing, they use some of the highest technology that you can imagine.
I can only imagine.
And especially in terms of research and development. Just about everything on our street cars were born out of racing. So, for example, when you think about brakes on our cars, they started experimenting with brakes, back in the 1920s, to the point we've sophisticated now. And the braking system on our cars are unbelievable, and that's come directly out of motorsports. Same thing with our motors. If you say, hey, I got a 2-liter normally aspirated engine, well, that proved itself or was proven on the track by Dodge or Cadillac or Ford. All of those companies use motorsports as their proving grounds and as their test markets for motorsports. So, for their consumer cars.
Okay.
So when we think about the STEM education, we felt like if we're going to have a motorsports program, that we really need to tie back into what career opportunities there are. Because just as Brian mentioned, there are, it's not that it's impossible to be a race car driver when you're poor,
Right.
but you really need to make sure that you have some good sponsors and supporters who are extremely wealthy. Okay, and so you've got to get in front of those folks,
Okay.
show them that you have ability, and one way to do that is to show them how educated you are. Not just I'm a good driver,
Right.
but when I'm outside the car, I can go ahead and speak well for you. I can talk about the technological aspect of the car, or maybe you got a products company like just recently I was watching racing, and everything from Crisco oil to Kentucky Fried Chicken to Amazon and UPS, they're all in motorsports.
Oh, yeah.
And those drivers have to go in front of the camera and say,
Right.
hey, thank
Represent
you to
those
UPS.
people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you don't understand UPS as a logistics company and what they're doing across the globe, you probably aren't going to be a good good spokesperson.
Okay.
So I think starting with the STEM education and then carrying over into understanding what it takes as a good, intelligent individual to represent these companies. I think that's important. The cart piece that you asked about, that's something that I created several years ago to kind of help these young people think of something that maybe they should be concerned about, not just in karting, but in life. So we talk about that knowledge. We also use the word ability and awareness as the A, and then respect, which is extremely important. As you know, in today's society, respect is really tough for people to have. And then it's a thinking sport. I call it the thinking person sport. Not that other sports aren't, but this one in particular, you got to use your head.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking at the knowledge, ability, respect, and thinking, and I was thinking, you don't see the respect and thinking too often.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
No, you don't.
and I thought that was kind of unique, and I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, if they can respect each other on the track and then maybe respect each other in life, hopefully our society would be better off. That's real lofty. I'm not trying to say we can do all that. But
well, I mean, the fact that
you
you even took the time to even come up with this. I mean, it lets you know how much invested you are. You like I said, because you could have easily started up a program and taught them how to ride around them cones.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. You could have done that. You know what I mean?
You're right.
But you didn't. You sat for a moment. You said, how can I better them before they leave? Not just behind a steering wheel, but how can I better them?
Mm-hmm.
When they walk off the track, how can I make them better in society? And that's, I mean, it shows that you really invested your time, into what you're doing, and I think it's awesome, like I said, because of everything that you can get out of it. Besides racing. I mean, don't get me wrong, racing's cool. It's cool, don't get me wrong, it is. But I mean, if you can carry lifelong lessons out of it, then that's a wonderful program.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Win-win situation.
Yeah, no matter what it is. Okay. What's up with D-Town? You ain't gonna run up to Detroit and I ain't gonna know about it. Come on, man.
Look,
I know about it, man.
So we had it was an interesting turn of events. Last year at our finale, which we do every year with the young people like BJ here, like Brian, that we have a ending season race.
Okay.
We call it our finale, and we invite everybody out, come and see them, and usually give their awards for the year.
Okay.
So this past year, it happened to be one of the people down from Detroit that were part of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan.
Okay.
And it was a gentleman by the name of Ken Delafour. Ken's a former NFL player, so he gets it. I mean, he didn't have any problem talking to me, talking to us. And he asked some of the same questions you had. He said, man, I never thought of go-kart driving could be an educational
Exactly.
experience. You know, I saw it as fun and all that.
Yeah, that's what
He said,
it's always been.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know,
if you don't
it's
know.
a fun thing. We're gonna go on the weekend and we're gonna race
Race
go-karts and then we're
go-karts.
gonna go home. That's it.
So when he saw that, and then he saw, I think these young people, the discipline that we put in it, the fact that they were respectful, going back to that word, and they seemed to be learning something. And he goes, wow, this is something that I think Blue Cross Blue Shield could get behind. I was like, yes,
What?
sir, you certainly can.
What?
So he said, you know what, send me a proposal. And I did. So we decided, and it took us not very long, about a month later in October, they said, man, we'd love to support you. Just got one request. Is it any way possible you could bring your program to Detroit? And I said, absolutely. You know,
We on the road.
hey, when you want me to be there?
Exactly.
When you have someone who's a sponsor and can provide the financial resources, it makes a lot of things pretty easy.
Yeah.
So they were sincere. I told them that we could do it. We had a lot of work to do
Right.
because I did not know, and still learning. You know, Big D, man, the Detroit market is very different. You know, it's it reminds me, I'm from the East Coast, so we used to call it DC, Chocolate City, CC.
Okay.
You know, Detroit, it's a little
Yeah.
bit Chocolate City. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
so you've got to be able to understand that and understand the dynamics that come into play when you have the big three or big four, whatever they want to call themselves, in Detroit, the automobile companies. You know, General Motors, Ford, etc. All of them are there, and then most of the folks are working for those companies, and you go, but you're not into motorsports because they haven't been introduced to it.
Wow.
And we found that when we started talking to people, started talking to parents, started talking to young people, they were all in.
Yeah.
We decided to do a pilot program in June, and we put out in the media that we were looking for 20 kids.
Okay.
We got 153 applications,
Wow.
all within 2 weeks. So it was absolutely amazing.
Somebody wants to do this.
Somebody wants to do it. And we had the news media come out and the whole bit and talk to us. So after that, we decided to go ahead and do the program. And BJ and the Grand Prix series that we have in NXG, they were all supportive and they wanted to go up. And so we took them. So he got a chance to race
I do
up
like that.
I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah, it was a good experience.
That's cool, man. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. I always find it, you know, because I swam in high school, and I love the experience of going to other schools of traveling. I just thought that was really a cool part of the sport, is the travel part. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so that's why I asked you. I wonder how does that feel? You know what I mean, to be able to travel, because it's different when you're on a high school team versus a travel team.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a little different. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you're kind of like on a travel team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's that?
I hope maybe we get to do it more in the future. Yeah.
Was it cold? Wasn't cold.
It was really hot.
Was it?
Yeah.
It
Oh
was
man.
really-
So you know Detroit.
Yeah.
So it was on Belle Isle.
Okay.
And you know Belle Isle is literally out in the water. I mean, it's it's an island. It's
Yeah.
surrounded by the Chicago River and whatever.
And you guys
it
have to
is.
race out there?
Yeah. So we raced on the island,
Wow.
which was man, that was a treat within itself.
Yeah.
But I had happened to be there 2 weeks before.
Uh-huh.
I was freezing. I mean, it was 50 degrees, and we were just kind of looking around, scouting for the location. I was like, man, if it's cold like this, then nobody wants to be here. So
Ain't
you know
nobody-
how Detroit is. It's like Indianapolis, only worse because you got the
Oh, they're used to it in Detroit.
the river,
They're used to it.
the
over
lake
there.
effect.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're
You're
used
right
to
on
it.
that water.
Right.
Yeah, but they're used to it. Though.
But
This
it
is-
was, as BJ was
But
saying,
that's
it was
cool.
95 degrees.
Wow.
It was, oh man, but it did have a little bit of breeze.
Breeze because of,
coming
the
off.
water.
But it was, I think, it was a fun experience. For these young people.
Well, that's cool. Is this something that will be going on? Is this, you know, I mean, a yearly thing? How's this, you know?
So our agreement right now
Uh-huh.
with Blue Cross Blue Shield is for the next 3 years
Okay.
to have a program there. So we're hoping next year we can have 2 to 4 events in
Okay.
Detroit. I don't know if we'll take the Grand Prix up every event. We're hoping that we can have each year, the next 3 years, have maybe 4 events, then maybe increase it to 6. So ultimately, we could have a similar program as what we have here in Indianapolis.
Okay. And along the way, hopefully you acquire more sponsors, so you might
There you go.
never know what
You
might
never
happen.
know
You know
what
what I mean? All right. I have one more question for you. What does NXG give you personally?
Oh, man. I got to tell you just in real short here why NXG came about.
Okay.
My partner in business and racing, the late Charles Lloyd Wilson, we had, from the time we were like 22 years old until he passed away in 2011, we were like, you know, we were ace coon booms. You know, we were together. And he was a racer. I supported racing. We went through a lot. And I would say that the experiences we had, good and bad, but predominantly the negative ones,
Right.
were the precursor for NXG. There are a lot of good people in racing.
Yeah.
And again, it's a predominantly white sport.
Right.
But then there are those who really didn't want us there.
Right.
That's the same way it is today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
A lot of folks feel like it's a white man's sport, and I said man, because I've talked to a lot of ladies who are racing, and they're experiencing the same thing. I've heard it. I've heard comments. They've made comments to me about women, and I'm thinking, what are you saying about me behind my back?
Yeah,
You know, if you're
it's,
telling me,
yeah.
oh man, about, you know.
Yeah.
So in 2000, when we started this, it was after a 10-year hiatus for me and for Charles. We got burned.
Okay.
We got burned. And we were young. I think I was 24 at the time.
Okay.
And when I say got burned, you know that means financially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we couldn't survive. And a guy, you know, just unethical, took some money, took a lot of money from us, didn't deliver on what we were supposed to have. And I said, you know what, I'm done with this. And we stayed away from the sport for 10 years.
Wow.
So coming back, we were sitting on the Pizza Hut on Lafayette Road when it was there. The one just south of 38th Street.
Yeah.
And I said, man, are we going to let them get to us? You know,
Right.
because they win.
Yeah.
And then we ended up saying, you know what, we don't want this for the next generation of racers. Thus, next
The
gen racers.
next generation.
The next gen racers. And I said, man, let's just, you know, we're gonna write down next gen racers. We're not gonna let another little black boy or girl go through the same mess that we went through. And well, what are we gonna do about it? Well, we gotta be out there. We gotta give them a way, a path.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. So it fulfills that goal and that dream. But I'll be honest with you. You asked me a really good question, and people don't know it or see it. But I learn so much from them. It's unbelievable what you can talk to an 11-year-old or a 15-year-old, and they'll say stuff. I mean, just quick little tidbits, and you're like, huh, I didn't know that, you know. And I feel connected, but also to be able to maybe shape their minds just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You know, to say, oh wow, let me think about that. You know.
Yeah.
That's the thrill for me, and I never knew that. There's a quick sidebar here. My mom was a teacher in IPS for 46 years.
Woo!
Yeah. And I used to laugh. I think, man, well, you babysitting a bunch of kids in school until I got into NXG and started being able to have some classes and teaching.
And you
And I was
realize the
like,
responsibility behind it.
absolutely. And what a blessing.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you can see it, man, in the eyes of these young people. And when that comes back to you,
Exactly.
there's nothing better in the world.
Nothing.
There's no amount of money can ever give you that.
When you know that you reciprocated respect, and it's given
Yeah.
and received, yeah.
Yeah. I like what you said. It's reciprocated.
Yeah.
It has to be earned.
Yeah.
These young people, they don't automatically say, "Oh, you cool," or I respect you. You got to earn that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to earn it through being honest, a little bit of discipline over here, and just being, because people say, "Oh, well, you're their friend." That's if they let me be their friend.
Right.
But what I am to them, hopefully, is someone, a confidant, someone they can feel, they can trust. That whatever I say to them, they could take it to the bank.
There you go.
Yeah.
And there you go. You stand on your word, young man. You always stand on your word. The strongest thing you have in this lifetime is your word.
Okay.
If you lose that, it's a wrap on you. All right. Well, gentlemen, the street lights are on and your PS5 is on. All right. There we go.
All right. I love it.
So it is time to go in the house. But, ladies and gentlemen, you have seen it. If you do have children, please try to get a hold to Coach Reid here, NXG Sports, or reach out to someone just at IMS. They will be able to get a hold to Coach Reid to point you in the right direction if this is something you want to do. It is a wonderful program, and as you've heard, you will get more than just racing out of it. So please try to reach out and be a part of this. Guys, I've had a good time. I've enjoyed you guys, man, and you got a win coming up. Trust me on that. It's going to be in Detroit. It's going to be on an island. It's going to be weird, but it's going to happen. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
I know these things.
I need that. Thank you.
I appreciate having y'all, man.
Sounds good.
There we go, gentlemen.
All right.
That's
All
a wrap.
right. It's a wrap.